Welcome everybody to game number 2 of this crazy best of 3. I mean, as of right now, that last game was some of the most hardcore aggression and one of the most dedicated T-Rexes I've ever seen, and we are spawning directly on top of the loser of that series, or not series, the loser of that game. Pardon my broken understanding of English, even though I'm a native English speaker and actually speak it fairly decently. But still, Naugrim from Ghost of Gamers is the Zerg in the bottom left, going up against the crazy aggressive BeastyQt, who did a very impressive T-Rex with one of the one of the most hardcore T-Rex. I can't emphasize the hardcoreness of that T-Rex. Building those 3 bunkers, walling in those Marines, and entrenching himself so efficiently, getting down a lot of 5 bunkers by the end of it, each of them with a very injured Marine in it to draw the aggro and make sure those spawn crawlers don't target down the Marines. It's a really, really intelligent just knowledge of the pathfinding of StarCraft 2. So very well done by BC, and I'm curious what he's going to be doing on this map. Now, Tal'Darim, the single most common opener on this map, or pretty much in the entire TVZ matchup, is a Reactor Hellion build. But as of right now, BC's thrown down his barracks first. We'll probably either see, if we see Refinery next, it's probably going to be the Reactor Hellion or a Reaper opener, a Reaper expansion, but it could also be a no-gas expansion. But never mind, we do have the Refinery going down, so I'm going to go ahead and put my money on a Reactor Hellion opener. Well, if it's down here for Naugrim, I'm expecting a hatchery first from him. That's what we did the last game. He's up to 300 minerals, and there we go. That hatch does get thrown down. So I'm feeling pretty prescient, assuming Beastie's not going to turn me into a liar. If Beastie makes me a liar, I'll be very, very sad, but I'm going to hope that he does not make me a liar. Because that makes me feel bad, because lying is a bad thing to do. Life lessons coming from me. Yay! Alright, but now, as of right now, we're going to see something very interesting from, not really anything interesting, it's just going to be just normal gameplay, but the interesting kind of thing is this sort of late-ish spawning pool that was put down on 16 food, so it was the, like a 14 or 15 hatch and a 16 pool. It's kind of interesting take on, I think, of the beta, the 15 hatch, 16 pool, or is it 15 pool, 16 hatch? I don't know. One of those was a very common opener for the beta of those Zerg players down there. But here we have Beastie building SCVs, getting down that first mule, and we are going to see the factory being thrown down. Very nice. We have to wait for 50 gas being mined before we might see that reactor going down, but with Beastie halting the Marine production, I'm definitely leaning towards the fact that I may be prescient and assume there we go. So now we do have the reactor being thrown down, so it should be a Reactor Hellion opener from him. Now Naugrim is continuing to get out his queens very, very happily. So we're going to go ahead and hope that he can be defensive, and it looks like he's even looking around here for hidden SCVs, hidden bunkers, something along those lines. But this one Marine, yeah, that's probably not going to... Oh, that might get a drone. That Marine might get that drone, but no, Lings are out, the Lings are on creep, they will be able to surround that Marine, and it does die. So, actually, Beastie was really efficient with that first Marine, being aggressive with that to the point where he forces drones to stop mining, and he also makes it so that he basically damages a few of them. It's actually going to make Naugrim feel nervous. He might actually over-Zergling because of that, but luckily enough, we see him producing no Zerglings. He's just safely getting a Spine Crawler, and if you look over here, we do have those Reactor Hellions being produced at the same time as this command center might get attacked by those Lings. We're seeing the Lings moving forward. 2 Lings will go and target fire down this SCV, but a nice move by Beastie to go ahead and keep that SCV alive as we watch these Hellions going to go ahead and actually roast those Lings coming in, but these Lings are buying time. It's a very, very important thing to note, as this SUV is also still alive. Nice ring around the rosy play from him to keep him alive. 15 health. That could have been a very nice kill by Naugrim to delay that expansion that much, but still, without killing the SUV, it was delayed, so well done. But now we're going to... This is a huge thing. This Spine Crawler would not have been able to burrow and reposition if it wasn't for the delay tactics of those Lings. As we're going to see, this first initial Hellions are moving forward, and it's kind of a redundant statement to say the first initial ones, but still, as we can see, they're going to try and push forward. They'll probably take a look at that Spine Crawler and then just retreat instantaneously. Naugrim's going to go ahead and SimCity a little bit to try and make sure that the Hellions can't do a run-by. One poke does go down, but Actually, oh, this is a great move by Beastie. These Hellions are not in range vision of this creep tumor. Basically, the second this creep tumor tries to put down another one, then these Hellions can go ahead and snipe it, and that forces another 25 energy to be used by Naugrim on creep. But if you look at Naugrim, he does have, yep, he does 3 queens on the field, so it won't be too big of an issue if he loses those creep tumors. And there we have creep tumor being attacked, and sneaky Naugrim manages to cancel the creep tumor. Very, very well done, as he does manage to be able to save that energy, and he can go ahead and plop it down again. He might even just put it down over here or something to continue the spreading of creep and allow him to make it to go towards BeastyQt. But as we can see, this evolution chamber is a nice spot. Funnel the Hellions, make sure run-bys cannot be done. But, oh, very fast third base from Beastie. He's probably just going to keep that inside his main base for a little while, get the Orbital Command, the extra SCVs, and the extra mules. And this is an incredibly intelligent, just best-of-3 play. He's, with his incredible aggression in the last game, Naugrim is now going to get incredibly out-macroed, considering that Naugrim doesn't even have a third base yet, but 10 drones in production. This is a very, very, very nice play by Naugrim. He knows he can't expand right now. These Hellions are too powerful in this early game, and they're going to shut down that third for a while. So Naugrim's going to get up his drone, so when he gets up that third, it can get saturated instantaneously. As of right now, we have the tank from Beastie going to go ahead and work on taking out these rocks. And, oh, this is another really nice move by BeastyQt. To get the infantry weapons and the infantry armor, he's going to be able to have a very, very strong marine push earlier on. He doesn't have stim or combat shield right now. It's just 1 barracks and 1 tech lab on the factory. So he can get 2 marines at one time, but this is a very, very intelligent move for the future. And also, this is a very intelligent move by Naugrim to try and get that creep tumor up. And it doesn't work, though. It will be sniped by Beastie, but still, this queen has got 100 energy. You can literally put down, or she can literally put down 5 creep tumors right now. He's already put down 1. Now we're going to have these Hellions going to move forward, try and be aggressive as the Lings take down this destructible rocks. But while we watch this action, I want to talk about Beastie's build. It's incredibly intelligent. He's using these Hellions early on to continue giving him map control. They'll get taken care of. They'll probably get taken care of by those the surround that's being prepared by those Lings. We're see them move forward. The Lings, they do get that surround, and they will be ripped apart. Those Hellions will be. So nice damage. But I want to talk about the build from Beastie. These players are being too good and doing too much, so I can't talk about it too much. But now, here's what I'm talking about. This is such a plan for the late game. This is going to be as strong as Beastie can possibly make it for the late game. He's skipping on defense earlier on because of that map presence of those Hellions never dying. This is allowing him to get up the tech of the siege tanks. He's already finished siege mode. Now he's adding barracks. He's been on only 1 barracks this entire time, producing marines without combat shield, without stim, but they have the 1-1. The 2-2 is being researched, and now that Naugrim's going to try and push in and be aggressive, this lack of marines doesn't really matter because of the siege tank presence. The heavy siege tank's presence, the nice wall off with these buildings as these Lings are ready to push forward. They're probably not expecting this base to be down. Notice that nothing's been seen quite yet. It just looks like a normal defensive position, but now we're going to go ahead and see units being trying to be attacked, but this missile turret is being built. It's going to go ahead and be able to be repaired. Once it finishes, we're having the Marines moving forward, and Naugrim, if he's being really, really effective, is going to look at those Marines and see the lack of sim, see the lack of combat shield, and realize that Beast is going for an incredibly risky early game play, but this is the safest risky early game play I've ever seen. It may seem weird to say that, but it's all siege tanks and few Marines without stim, without combat shield. If there was a really strong push from Naugrim off of a normal 3 or 4 base Zerg at this point, BC would be dead. But the presence of those Hellions, the activeness of those Hellions, the lack of that third for a long time from Naugrim is making Beastie being incredibly safe. He's got a bunker over here as well when normally you don't see crazy amounts of bunkers, and this sensor tower is also incredibly revealing to Beastie. He knows his vulnerability, and he wants to make sure he knows the angle of attack, because if Naugrim splits his forces correctly and Beastie doesn't, Naugrim could win it just outright. So that's something that Beastie's got to be aware of, and he is with that sensor tower. So Lair Tech is out. We do have the Spire completed, getting the air weapons. We have those mutas already out, actually. Going to go ahead. I've been too busy talking about Beasties and just intelligence with his build. We do have the Thor on the field, ready to defend, and this 2-2 is almost done. We even have the upgrades for the tanks. This is an impeccable TVZ build. When Lings and Banelings have that +1 carapace, then they survive one shot from the tanks if they're unupgraded. But with one upgrade from these tanks dealing 38 damage, then Lings and Banelings die to one shot. And that is a really important relationship to take aware of, because if they do survive that initial shot, then that means they can close the distance a little bit more between those Marines and deal with them accordingly. Now we're going to see Marines moving forward to the top. Missile turrets will be thrown down. That one Muta goes down to that Thor. Naugrim loses another. He does manage to take out that researching that tech lab, but that actually was researching stim, forces that to be re-upgraded once again. But Beasty, 3 upgrades being started 14 minutes in. This is the most perfect upgrade I've ever seen from a Terran in a real game scenario, and not just having it be pretty mathematically when you think about having the 1-1 upgrades, the 2-2 upgrades, and the 3-3 upgrades in succession. This is incredibly powerful, and now we're having another upgrade going down for those for the Thor and the siege tanks. And I don't think Beasty is going to actually expand for a little bit of time. I think he's prepping for an incredibly strong 3-3-2-0 push with the mech units and the Marines. This is incredibly impeccable timing on his part. But let's see what Naugrim's going to be able to do to answer this. He's got his 4th base down, so he did manage to actually get that double expand, and he's saturated all these gases. That's going to be the big key, is if Naugrim can utilize that gas effectively. You can see his macros being very, very solid. He's got 187 food to the 151 for BeastyQt. Not exactly the biggest difference ever, but look at he's gonna have macro on his side while Beasty's got upgrades. We're having 1-1 on those melee units for Naugrim. He's got the 1-0 on the Mutas. He's not getting any more upgrades for those guys. He's getting the +2 melee attack, but not the carapace. This is a great move by Naugrim. He's probably has the drone count and the food count to go ahead and get away with that. 79 drones are on the field, so this is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Try and limit any more Hellion damage, and a base going down in the top right for Naugrim. He's basically trying to deal with the passivity and turtling of BeastyQt as effectively as he can, but he's got to be careful. He's got nice vision with this Overlord, seeing everything, but oh no, medevacs are out, so death to this Overlord. That will be falling very, very quickly, so goodbye to that scouting information. I mean, the thing is, Beast is aware of that with that sensor tower, but still, this top part of the base is not covered by a sensor tower, but a 4th is going down. We're going to see death to that. I think that was a Marine that just fell. Didn't really have time to actually see what it was. But this top right base is about to complete. If Naugrim can get that saturated without Beasty being aware of it, then Beasty could end up falling in behind, when as of right now, he hasn't even pushed out to see these bases as of yet. He's so content with his infrastructure, he'd be able to scout with these drops, and Naugrim's going to be hard-pressed to really give a nice, succinct answer to this. He can just try to be as aggressive with his moves as he can, but he can't move in effectively because of that sensor tower. Beasty will have his knowledge, and until he pushes out, there we go, we have that push out, but the creep tumors are going down. Beasty's keeping his army very efficiently together. There we have a few stims on those Marines. No Banelings are actually being burrowed. That's one of the reasons why that scan was there. Now we're going to watch as all these spine crawlers are going to get killed. Looks like we're going to have Naugrim prepare for a flank. Centrifugal Banelings are out with the +2 attack. It's a nice DPS, 43 versus light. But here we have the +3 armor done, the +3 attack done. BeastyQt has that +2 attack done for those. Oh my god, now we're seeing him pushing in. We're going to have the full-on army engagement. The Banelings are following the Marines, but that's just allowing these tanks and Thors to deal with them accordingly. There's no flank from the other units, and we're going to see those Thors get taken care of. There's one siege tank, 2 health left, still manages to survive, and oh no. Now we're going to get supply blocked with all of these. We have a counterattack with the Mutas and everything on that top part, but these Marines are still pushing forward, and supply block is a vicious blow to Naugrim right now. He's getting 5 Overlords, but that's not enough to fix this kind of supply block. He did manage to get 5 Infestors and 30 Lings out before the supply block happened, but he's got to be careful. These Lings are at 2-1. We're going to see him pushing forward, but this is a very, very tough entrenched position that BeastyQt is taking complete advantage of, as also in the main base of BeastyQt he's having to deal with a nice counterattack during this time, but also there's a drop down here in the bottom right, dealing with so much damage to those units, taking down the extractor. Everything is going to pieces. Empire is just such a good Terran team, and Beasty is really repping that well. Those Mutas are still attacking, doing so much damage. Naugrim's not able to use this hatchery. He's got a base in the bottom right too that he's not using as well. That's really, really hurting him. He could have had a much stronger economy at this point, but instead he is losing bases. Beasty is being incredibly aggressive. The counterattack of the Mutas is still doing damage. Now we're having Banelings pushing forward, but they're not spread, so the splash of this Teach Tanks makes them die so quickly. And now we're going to have these mutas continuing to deal damage. Just always nice to know that they are wrecking. We do have Marines attacking down here, getting fungled, and now getting taken out, but Naugrim has taken so much damage. Beastie is trying to take this base in the top right, but this Overlord and Ling are present. But this is still here. This base is still there. We're having Infested Terran being thrown down. Lings are doing a great job of attacking. I was Hive Tech out. Hive Tech is out. Adrenal Glands is done. So we do have Adrenal Gland Lings on the field, but they only have the 2-2 attack. They're not quite cracklings yet. They don't have that 3-3. But BeastyQt is rebuilding. Those mutas are still doing damage inside that base. Just take a look at what they've done. But this Thor is going to be more than enough to take those guys out. This muta does manage to stay alive, does not get hit by that splash. But Naugrim is in a very rough spot. Beastie is continuing just to be impeccable with this game. He took a lot of damage from his mutas and the counterattacking, but still, Naugrim is in a much worse spot. Let's take a look at the unit station. 60 SCVs to 49 drones. Naugrim is trying to actually go ahead and finally saturate this base. It's been up for so very long. He actually has drones in this bottom right, but look at how long they've been mining. They just got there literally now, and that is a serious blow. It does mean, though, that Naugrim's in a better position than if he just had those original 4 bases and they got taken out. But still, he's got to make use of them. It's been hidden for so long from Beastie. Now we're going to have Death at Overlord. And Beastie, he actually flew the medevac directly over this base, but didn't see it quite yet. The creep hadn't spread to that point. So Naugrim had an opportunity to really be able to be maxed again, pretty much, if he had those bases in a much better spot earlier on. But as of right now, Beastie is just waiting to get this command center down. Probably going to get a PF down there and then just stay entrenched in a nice position. But still, these Marines are trying to escape. The mutas escape all those everythings. But now we're going to have this Marine doing a nice job scouting, going to discover that base as Empire is going to take some more losses. Or not Empire, but Beastie, the Terran from Empire. And Naugrim is finally getting the gas guys in that base. And this Marine is actually doing a scary amount of damage to this hatchery. The +3 attack is so deadly. But Naugrim is going to have to hit this force soon. He cannot let Beastie get maxed. Beastie's got a 30 food lead. Naugrim's trying to go ahead and be aggressive with these Lings, do some damage, and he's being effective with them. You can see him taking dealing damage, but those Lings only the +2 attack, and those SCs have the +3 armor. That's a lot of just hits they're going to be able to take, only taking 4 damage per shot from the Lings, but luckily with the crackling upgrade they're going to be pretty effective. But there we see the +3 melee attack is being researched right now, and now we're going to have Beastie going to be hit those. He doesn't manage to snipe that Infestor. He is going to manage to snipe that Infestor. It's going to fall. No, it's it does fall. There we go. Finally targets it down. But now Thor is going to reinforce these units, and these guys could die. If Naugrim can hit endless fungals on these guys, he should be able to kill them. One more fungal, actually, it's not going to be enough to kill him. That is upsetting for him, as he's now going to get hit by this spot. Naugrim has just now started to get some drones there, and they're going to not last for very long. While there's even a drop inside the main base, Naugrim's going to lose those guys. We're going to keep track of that drop, but to keep on this hatchery, because there's just too much stuff going on as these Marines are taking, oh my god, they're taking out so many queens. 2 queens is a great pickoff, but Lings pop just in front of this. Now we have more of them moving down. Should be able to clean up that base, and this hatchery fell. Well done. We're going to have down here, this base has 1 spine crawler, and I don't think Beastie's aware of that bottom right base. He is actually. Oh, that is bad. Just because we have this drop moving down the right side of the base. Going to go ahead and try and take that out. We do have this just getting thrown down for Naugrim. He's behind 40 food. He's trying to stay in this. He's being very scrappy, but Beastie's in such a great position, and he's being scrappy too, dropping everywhere, making sure Naugrim cannot get back into this game. And Beastie is getting another command center at this base with the PF to protect it. So Ling's moving down there. This is actually going to serve to protect this command center or this PF as well, because it prevents the full surround of those Lings against that. But now we have that. You see that this drop has officially hit this base. This hatchery is going to be falling. There's no way that these units will be able to come in and actually be able to defend it in time. We're going to see them pushing in. Beastie's going to be able to target down the hatchery, and there it goes, and immediately blitzes off all of those Marines. Not going to take any losses, and he takes on a full base. That is just obscene. Very well done by Beastie. Now we're going to see Naugrim force to distance mine from this base all the way down to either this third or this natural. I don't know which one is going to be quite the closer base to return those minerals to. Well, let's take a look at this. Look at all those mules. 2,800 income versus 800 income for those minerals. Those are just such powerful economy from BeastyQt, controlling Naugrim efficiently. And now we're going to see the healing of all of these Marines ready to do a whole nother drop. Speaking of drops, Beastie is moving down the left side of the map, going to be able to hit these units incredibly efficiently, but Naugrim's ready for this drop. He's got his 3-2 lings here ready to hit, and he's going to follow this medevac completely. Corruptors and Infestors, this drop will be handled no problem. Goodbye to this medevac. It will fall, but this base is getting hit on the right by BeastyQt. He does get cleaned up, but this medevac is going to get fungled. It might die, but no, actually it might not. There's no other air DPS besides that Infestor with the fungal. No infested Terrans were called down either, so Beastie might actually be able to escape with that medevac, but he's got this full, oh no, and he's transitioned to massive amounts of ghosts. So he's perfect against those, yeah, actually, wait, did I see Greater Spire earlier? I thought I did, actually. Yeah, there's a Greater Spire that I saw in the corner of my eye when I was looking at that drop, but Broodlords are going to be met by Ghosts, and that's going to be unfortunate for the Broodlords. The snipe is so powerful, and these Ghosts have Cloak. They can easily cloak, and they're going to be a great defense against those Lings, too. Ghosts are so good against light units. They do 26 damage versus light. There's some snipes on that Infestor. Now, see, moving forward, these Infestors are probably going to fall. They do have the Carapace, though, to help them take a little more damage, but now we're going to have the Broodlords morphing over here. We're going to have just 2 more on the way, 2 completed. This is just a lack of a con from Naugrim. He's only able to get 4 Broodlords out, and he's got that Greater Spire up for a long time, too. Beastie is being incredibly aggressive. Going to hit this once again. Nice fungal. He's going to hit Banner's going to enclose the gap. We're going to see the Spine Card maybe going to pick off... Oh, he doesn't get to pick off that one Ghost. That is upsetting, and we have units here ready to take down that base as well. Drone's going to try and hide. This base isn't even up, and the Spine Crawler is out of the creep, so he's not even able to stay alive. He's slowly losing health. Maybe able to do a little bit of damage to a Ghost, but it goes down. Now we're going to see the death of all these units. The Ghost is happily going to take them away as Beastie is getting a PF at this top right base. This is really impeccable TVZ coming from Beastie. He's never let Naugrim get a nice hold on the game. Even with that counterattack of those mutas, Beastie's been able to handle it pretty well, just with sheer aggression off that 3 base for a long time. Greater Spire is still not able to do many upgradings. So we're going to see Beastie dropping down here at this bottom base. He's going to have to deal with the fact that he's going to be hit by those Lings. As he's going to mush over here, look at all these Broodlords getting scouted by the medevacs, but still, it seems that the ground army is trailing behind, but Beastie can't really answer those Broodlords very well with this army unless they're... Okay, they're still Ghosts, never mind, so it's still pretty impeccable. But there was some endless fungling, I believe, on that to keep those things dying. Oh no! Medevac's gonna die, and oh, that is a nice pickoff as those... Let's see, kills on the Infestors. 5-1. That's probably 6 medevacs they just killed. That's ridiculous. Beastie has this base up, ready to transfer SCVs over there, but what is his SCV count? If we look, it's 50 SCVs to 35 drones. Oh my god, I had no idea Beastie had been willing down that much. 54 drones killed, 37 SCVs killed. These guys would have been neck and neck in the workers if it wasn't for the crazy aggression from Beastie. But still, those mutas did a nice job pressing the main base. I cannot emphasize that enough. But now we're going to see Beastie. This is just obnoxious to have this siege tank ready to take down this hatchery. What's second tries to get up in there as it forces the cancellation instantaneously. Such a nice good position by such a good position by Beastie right now to really handle this game well, as this PF is going to now really be utilized, and we're going to see moving forward again a bit. Oh, look at this ghost count. So many ghosts. 16 ghosts. All of them cloaked, but now they get fungled. Where are those Broodlords? Going to need to be able to hit them more or morphing. Looks like we're going to see time trying to be bought, but never mind. Engaging instantaneously with those Broodlords, with the Banelings, to help the Broodlords survive against the ghosts. I mixed up all my words trying to say 20 million things at once as these ghosts are moving forward, and oh no, those Broodlords are going to be able to shoot a few Broodlings, and then they get sniped. Mass snipage. Look at this. Only 4 ghosts were killed in the group that I selected before, and actually more even came in to reinforce, and GG gets called by Naugrim. Oh my god, that was such great play by BeastyQt. Perfect build order, perfect contain, great knowledge of the game, perfect setup for the endgame. I cannot emphasize enough, Beastie played that in a genius fashion. Naugrim did the best he could, but Ghost of Gamers gets taken out by Empire. Very great teams. Beastie played that well, and I am incredibly happy to have seen this TVZ. If any Terran you guys are watching this, take that build, steal it, get that map presence with those Hellions, get that fast 3rd CC, get that fast 3rd base, get those upgrades and push out. It's so hard to deal with that Zerg, as you just saw. Naugrim did an amazing job of trying to come back into this. A few things that he might have been able to have done to really take advantage of the game and the setup that he had would be to those top right and bottom right bases. If he had saturated those sooner, when Beasty pushed out and took out this third and fourth bases of Naugrim, he could have come back if he just saturated those. It's hard to do that, though, when you have an aggressive player like Beasty running down your throat. Naugrim was just never able to really be able to get the drone count back up to where it originally was. Even off of 2 bases, he had more drones than he did off of, 5 or something at some point. He handled that really well, just not quite enough to get that victory, so Beasty played that amazingly well. I now have to go spend 3 hours trying to edit and getting all that multitask into that game. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. You guys on YouTube are having a privilege in seeing all those, or hopefully most of those double-pronged attacks, or I can't get the triple-pronged attacks, but I can give you some of those double-pronged attacks. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching.